Hey guys, and welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5, Episode 4, Celebrations and Strange Explanations. Oh, I'm so glad to be back. I missed you guys so much. I'm excited to be talking about these ladies and getting into the episode. So let's get into it. I thought it was a really good episode. I enjoyed watching it, and I can't wait to discuss it. What'd you guys think? So we pick up the episode with Gizelle and her daughter Grace. They're taking a dance class together. Thought it was super cute to see them playing around and having fun. I feel so bad for the daughters because they clearly don't want Gizelle to get back with her ex, with their dad. But she says that she and Jamal are still trying to work it out. So we'll see what happens there. We go over to Karen's house and love the editors. They have, of course, they show Matt. They show that he's her assistant, and assistant is in quotation marks. Karen wants to throw a party. It's the first one in 3 years. She's having a house party. Ray seems to be pissed at Karen because she's so into this Ladom thing. And he's used to having her all to himself and having all her attention. So, of course, they're going through a really hard time. She's calling it a homecoming party. So she's making this invitation for everybody. And she has a singing telegram to come to her house so she can be recorded and she can send the invitation to all of her friends. So then we see Wendy, and we got to see more of her family last week, which was cool to get to know. Her sons, Cruz and Carter, are there. She's having a play date with Robyn and Robyn's kids. Of course, Robyn also has a son named Carter. They kind of talk about the sip-and-see that happened last week. Robyn saying Candiace was way out of line and that she's come for Ashley's whole life. Wendy seems to be surprised by this. Robyn asks Wendy what she thinks, and Wendy says, when you have more than 3 people talking to you, you feel like you're being attacked. Robyn says, well, what did Candiace say about us? Wendy reveals that she said that Gizelle has a dominant personality and called Gizelle a monster. She also says that Candiace said she didn't care for Ashley and that Karen's great. And then it comes up, they talk about when Wendy says she was surprised that Karen is still having sex. She talks about the persona that Karen puts on, that she's, trying to put on for everybody, this Ladom thing, this grande. And I agree with Wendy. I know you guys sometimes give me flack for this, but I am just not a Karen fan. I don't like this air she puts on about herself. It kind of bugs me. So I like this Wendy, and I like that she's calling her out for it. So then we go over and we see that Candiace is meeting Ashley for lunch. So that Ashley, of course, is bringing the baby. Oh my God, could this kid look any more like Michael? It's crazy. Candiace thanks Ashley for making sure she didn't run off into the street during the sip-and-see. And Ashley said she could see that Candiace was upset. Candiace explains that she felt like everybody was coming at her. And Ashley says, you didn't have the same respect for me when you said all that stuff on social media for everybody to see. And again, it comes up several times this episode about how awful Candiace is on Twitter. She is terrible. And now, of course, I wasn't here last week, but it came out about the terrible homophobic things she said on Twitter. I just have never cared for Candiace, and it's not really a shock to see that she's the hateful person that we all thought she was. So Ashley's talking to Candiace about moving on past her feelings. Candiace says it's something that she's working on. Then they bring up this whole Charrisse thing. She says that Monique thinks that Candiace purposely invited Charrisse to get under her skin. But Candiace is trying to say if she knew she was going to be upset, she wouldn't have invited her. Bullshit. Candiace knew exactly what she was doing. Come on. This is her thing. She loves to just stir the pot and get under people's skin. She reminds me of Reah, how fake she is. Funny spot here is they all start to receive Karen's video invitations while they're at lunch. We see Gizelle making the funniest faces and rolling her eyes. Wendy makes a funny face and rolls her eyes. Gizelle ends up FaceTiming Robyn, and they're talking about the grande, and Robyn says that she's taking the grande thing way too far. They bring up the whole thing that Wendy says about how they're convinced that Karen isn't having sex with Reah. So during the FaceTime, Robyn tells Gizelle about the play date with Wendy and how Candiace called Gizelle a monster. Gizelle then says Candiace hasn't seen a monster, but if she wants to see that, I'll show her. So then we go over to Monique's house, and I just love seeing Chris and Monique interact. I think Chris is great. He's so much fun. So she's trying to get the kids down. They sit and they have a glass of wine. I love these glasses. I'm kind of obsessed with them. She's saying that it's just been a lot lately with the kids and the new baby, and she's mad that Chris doesn't ask her about her day. And she's telling him she's frustrated. And to camera, she's saying, I need Chris to put in some effort. Chris says, spend the money to get whatever you need, basically whatever help you need. And then Monique brings up them not going on dates. It's a whole thing. I think it's just fodder for the camera. They seem like they're doing great, and they're so cute. Then we got Chris and Candiace. Oh, Candiace. I don't know how this Chris puts up with Candiace. They go on a picnic. She's saying he's too busy. They talk about having kids. He asks her about her fears. Of course, she brings up the relationship with her mother and how it's taken 30 years to supposedly get in a good place. But I'm thinking, girl, didn't your mom hit you with a purse just a couple months ago? Probably not a great place. Of course, she doesn't want to have that relationship with her kids. She tells Chris about the lunch with Ashley. And then that she also needs to have a talk with Gizelle. Then they start to role play where he pretends to be Gizelle. So then we go over to Karen's. She's planning for her party. She's at the event planner. They're about 3 days out from the party. Karen's explaining that she says that Reah is excited and that she wants to reignite the passion and that it's a grande dame party. I never know if I'm saying that right. Grande dame. It's just so silly. We're at Gizelle's house. Cal comes over. I always like Cal. He seems like such a nice guy. They talk about how he used to work for Gizelle's ex, Jamal, but then he and Gizelle formed a close bond, so he's stuck with Gizelle. He's looking around the house. She's asking Cal to fix this awful wig. They talk about the girls being afraid of Gizelle and Jamal wanting to get back together. And again, I feel so bad for these girls. I do love Gizelle. I know I catch flack for that, but I do. I think I just really like her. I like her personality a lot. I know she's a shit stirrer, but I like her. And I don't want her to make a mistake. She's such a beautiful woman. She can do so much better. And I don't think this Jamal guy is the right guy for her. I think he's a jerk, especially after what he did in the past. We'll see. Gizelle's crying. I feel so bad for her. Cal is being the voice of reason. He's saying, lead with love. The kids will see it. And then talks about, forgiveness for Jamal. Over to Karen's. It's the day of the event. We see that she's hired acrobat performers. Everybody's arriving. She's got Queen K in her hair. Gizelle arrives. Karen asks about Jamal. To camera, Karen says Gizelle doesn't want to have to answer about Jamal's past. I kind of tend to agree with you. Ashley arrives. Wendy and Eddie arrive. Candiace arrives. Gizelle tells Ashley the stuff that Candiace had said to Wendy about her and about the whole monster thing. We see Monique and Chris arrive. Monique to camera says, I don't trust Candiace. I see you and I don't trust you. Later on, Robyn arrives. She's late. She has 3 pizza boxes, which is hilarious. I'm not the hugest Robyn fan. I think she's really boring, but I think this is a really good prank. Even Karen seems to have a sense of humor about it. They're laughing about the pizzas. It's of course called back to 2 years ago when she stopped by with pizza to scope out the house. Robyn then asks Reah what's up with all the K's everywhere, and the producers show K equals Karen, and they're talking about why aren't there H's everywhere for the Hubers. Then Candiace goes to Gizelle and says that they should have a chat. They step to the side. Candiace is, I guess, apologizing. I don't know that I'd even call it that. She says she didn't intend on being messy. Gizelle to camera says, you're not going to electric slide your way through this conversation, and that's why I love Gizelle. She's exactly right. Candiace claims to apologize, but she always does this shit where it's on her terms. She skates past it, and if anybody has any kind of rebuttal, she freaks out, doesn't like it, doesn't want to talk about it anymore. So they don't really make up. At the end, Candiace is saying, I came to apologize. We're cool on the surface, where it's always been. I don't know how you can be anything but surface with Candiace. She's so hard to talk to. We have Wendy and Karen. Karen is being weird to Wendy. I don't know what Karen's problem is with Wendy. I think she's threatened by her. And then to Wendy, to the camera, basically calls Karen old and dismissive. So again, I really like this Wendy. If she just stopped being friends with Candiace, I think she'd be perfect. So then we have Karen and Reah. Karen talks about him being a priority up until now. He wants to chill, move to Florida, that kind of thing. She's just not ready to slow down yet. The MC calls her out, the grande dame, Miss Karen Huger. Karen comes out in this outfit. She's dancing to Beyonce. And I thought it was ridiculous. The ladies' reactions are so funny. Robyn especially is making the funniest faces saying, Karen has lost her mind. She looks like Pepto-Bismol. They're all dancing. Karen asks about Reah, and then we see that he's sneaking off to go to bed. So that's how the episode ends. So then we see a flash to next time. It looks like all the ladies are headed to Monique's lake house. Beautiful house. So they're having fun. It turns out that Monique has brought T'Challa with her, and it freaks everybody out. A really funny scene here of T'Challa landing on Wendy and Wendy freaking out. So then it looks like it's going to be Wendy versus Ashley. I'm very curious to see what's up with them. I wonder if Wendy has just kind of bought into what Candiace has been saying about Ashley, or if Ashley really bugs Wendy, what's going on there. Then we find out Candiace has gotten messages about Michael. Oh, he just can't not be disgusting. So this time it sounds like Michael has been out with some strippers, and there's a picture of Michael out, and supposedly Candiace's friend is a bartender, so she caught him out with these strippers, and I really want to see what the heck happens there. I think he's disgusting. I might be way off here, but I feel like this story is a plant to try to cover up all the grabbing of the guy's butts that he's done in the past. So what better way to cover that than to put out stories that he's out with a bunch of strippers? I mean, what strippers are going to hang out with Michael Darby? He's disgusting. So that's just my thought. So again, I'm so glad to be back. Thank you guys for all the comments while I was away. Homeschooling really sucks. So just working on that, but I'm back. I'm happy to discuss this stuff with you. I can't wait to hear your comments, your thoughts. I want to get into all the other shows this week. I'm covering Below Deck Med, which is so infuriating. And I'm covering Beverly Hills and New York. So be sure to check those out. And thank you so much for everything. And I'm so glad to be back. And find me on Twitter at Real Recaps. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.